When you call and schedule showings from your real estate agent, you're probably thinking it's just like the agent. You call the agent, they go and make the appointment, and y'all just show up. Well, it's not that easy. And let me tell you how it really works and why it's really important to hear what your agent is saying when you are trying to schedule showings with them. So, when I have a client, let's say they want to see 5 homes, sometimes those homes could be all over town. They're not necessarily right there together, and sometimes they're really far apart. Like they could be in the southern part of town, in the northeast part of town, they could be in another little town around here. They're all spread out. So here is what we do. The first thing that I do is I look at the showing instructions and I see what is this agent saying about how I show. Do I need to use the system that is in our MLS? Do I need to use a system that is outside of our MLS? Do I need to contact the agent directly? Will the agent answer a phone call or a text? Sometimes the answer to that is no, um, at least not for a while. So there are various ways that agents, individual agents who are listing those properties, put that information into the MLS so that we can schedule showings. So if I'm trying to show or schedule showings for 5 different homes, I go in, I read the showing instructions, I figure out, is this house still available? I send the seller's disclosures to my client so they can start reading that information. And then I print out all of the showing papers. So I've got agent showing papers and I've got client showing papers. I print all of that out. Then I go in to Google Maps. I make a map of all the places that we're going to go. Once those are all in Google Maps, then I have to decide, okay, what is the smartest route from my house, from their house, from a starting point to an ending point? What makes sense? It's a process, y'all. It's not so fast. Then once we have kind of a plan and a route, I go in and I start trying to schedule showings on all the various ways. Again, I could go into Broker Bay. I could go into Showing Time. I might have to contact the agent. I might have to contact 2 different agents for the same property. Sometimes I even have to contact the owner, and a lot of times these people don't answer their phones or answer a text. It's a pretty big process. Then once I have actual information on all the showings, on occasion I'll have a buyer that says, oh, I changed my mind, I don't want to see that one, or I want to add 2 more. So that just complicates the whole thing. So now I'm starting over and I'm adding these different places into my plan. I'm having to go back and reschedule all the ones that I have scheduled. So it's really important to listen to your agent and come up with a good plan on how they want to go about things. If you've got a bunch of homes, once you give your agent that list and y'all set up a time, let that list ride. And if there's extras that come along, if there's any way possible, go see them at another time, or make sure that you look really carefully before you start sending listings that you want to see, and make sure you've sent them all of them at the same time. If you have to add one on it, it happens. Okay. So I'm not saying you're a horrible, awful buyer if you have to add or subtract houses along the way. That is just part of it. I'm just giving you the best way and giving you information so you really understand the process and that it's not as easy as it might seem. Okay, we schedule all the showings and then we go see the showings. Now think about this. I also have to I have to schedule a lot of these like within 30 minutes, 15 minutes sometimes an hour they'll give us. It just depends on the house, what the seller will allow or what the agent has set up. So maybe that I have a 30-minute window and I have to time coming from the last house. Now I have to figure out, and I might not know this, is my buyer going to get in the attic in every house? Are they going to want to walk the entire property if it's land? Are they going to want to go into the barn and climb up to the top and look in every stall? I mean, you just have a lot of information that you do not have when you're an agent trying to schedule these showings. Sometimes people literally walk in and walk out. Sometimes they drive up to the curb and go, I don't like this neighborhood. I thought this brick was red in the pictures. It's actually pink. I don't like pink brick, so I don't want to look at this house. Hate when that happens. It's a total bummer because the seller has gotten everything ready, cleaned their house, and I have to call and say, I'm so sorry, but my client has decided to not see this home. All kinds of things happen, but once we actually make a plan, Of course, we'll go and try to hit all of those throughout the actual time that we're supposed to, but it's a pretty darn big process to do that. And so it's really important that you have some consideration for your agent when you're working with a buyer's agent. One other thing that I would say that you need to understand and that would be very helpful for you is to go on Google Earth, Google Street View, or maybe drive by. If you are completely unfamiliar with an area and you're looking at a lot of random things, you really want to make sure that you don't go see something and ask a seller to clean their house, forego that birthday party they were planning for that day, get all the dogs and the kids and the pets out of the house and whatever they have to do for a house that you literally are going to hate the neighborhood or the area or it's too far from your work. So map it to the things that are important to you. Look at the school district, look at the area, and if you can actually go see it before showings, if that's possible. Obviously we don't want you to lose out on a property and take too long to go see it, but it's really important for you to gather as much information and then make a plan with your agent and then stick to it.